I wish you guys can smell this monster. This is just amazing. Hey guys, I'm Juliana, your automotive woman. That's my friend Roger and the Allard Motor Works J2X. Let's go for a drive. So Roger, the first time I saw you in the Allard J2X was when you were on Jay Leno's garage. And let me tell you, as first impressions go, this is amazing. But before we get into how your company has modernized this classic, tell me, and those that are just seeing the J2X for the first time, a little bit about its heritage, because it actually comes from motorsport.
Sure. Well, Sidney Allard was an addict to track. He did a hill climb, he did track, he did 24 Hours of Le Mans, he did Monte Carlo rallies, and he built some 1,900 cars, about 15 models. The J Series and the K Series are basically competition roadsters. This is a J2X. They built 83 between 1951 and 54. And it was on the track at Le Mans, actually driven by Sidney Allard himself and Zora Duntov, the father of Corvettes, who rode it in 24 Hours Le Mans before he went on to Corvette.
So what is everything you've done? Because you've kept it pretty close when it comes to looks. And I like how you still have a lot of that British heritage, but you had that American muscle. So take me from front to back. How have you modernized this vehicle?
Well, one of the things I wanted is safety. And in order to do that, to get high-speed safety, the original was a 100-inch wheelbase. I've extended 6 inches that I took in the door. The cockpit was horrible in the original. It had a bench seat, which you couldn't adjust. The seats were 3 inches below the top of the door. Your firewall was under your chin. So getting in and out was a real task. This way here, with bucket seats that you can fully adjust, we can lower the center of gravity. We can put in people here that are at 6'5", 6'6" in the car comfortably. And with the extended wheelbase, we get much higher tracking at high speed. And so essentially we put in new motors. Everything is new on this car. There's nothing retro or new or old in this car. Originally, they ran 331 Cadillacs, 331 Hemis. There were 2 Oldsmobiles, 2 Buicks. So I'm staying with GM and Hemis.
Okay.
So we've installed everything from 350 horses up to 700 horsepower with a 5.7 Hemi, 6.1, 6.4 Hemis. We've had the LS3, which is our basic engine, and the LSA, which is the Cadillac Supercharged at 585 horsepower.
Okay, so I'm going to interrupt you there because you mentioned horsepower and torque, and this is front engine, rear-wheel drive, right? Crazy amount of horsepower, torque, right there, baby, right? But what kind of driver-assisted technology do you have in this modern era?
Well, the first thing we do is make sure our cars are balanced, and our cars are balanced basically 50-50 front to back. We don't have a big heavy engine in the front and nothing in the back, and you have trouble, you're spinning out all the time. So everything is balanced nicely so we can, go into a high-speed corner and do a controlled drift. Just lock the steering wheel and use your gas pedal to give you some direction. Of course, our suspensions are all modern suspensions, so we can adjust on 4 corners. We have 9 positions of adjustment on each shock, which allows you to adjust the ride to your liking, whether you're highway driving, track driving, or whatever you want to do with it. So there's lots of adjustments. And so the other thing, of course, is the chassis is a solid chassis. It's box steel, but it's heavily triangulated. So we have both the weight and the rigidity of the car that we need for good performance. So the power to weight ratio is very high, but it's controllable, it's steerable, it's very comfortable to drive. No surprises.
So, Roger, if somebody's interested in purchasing the Allard J2X, first, how long does it take? And then what's customizable?
Well, we have a 6 to 7 month build time.
Okay.
And there may be some customers ahead of you. So but basically, your options are engine power and a few other options, which I'll touch in a minute. But this is the GM Ramjet 350 fuel injected It's a Vortex engine, one of the most reliable engines you can count on. Puts out 360 horsepower and super reliable. To this, you could add, some people have added the heater, even an air conditioner, and power steering for those who need that, and then power brakes. However, as you can see from the car, we have large 12-inch vented disc brakes, and that will stop you on a dime.
Moving to the cockpit here, you've actually done a lot, and we spoke about all the customization you've done with this. So when it comes to color tones and color combinations, what can people do?
Well, we have both in terms of the leathers themselves, in terms of the tone. You can add piping. We always do the embroidery, so it could be a contrasty embroidery and piping.
Okay.
And we've been also offering a number of different stitches. We have the straight stitches, we have the smaller diamond stitches, and other cars, which you'll see at the shop, we have larger diamonds on them. But it makes it a very, very personable, enclosure for you. The carpets are the same thing. We try to match the carpets, with everything, with the leathers and that.
Okay, and one thing I noticed too is the pedals. Fantastic.
Yeah, these pedals are built and designed at our place, and they're made for those who know what toe heel driving is.
Yeah.
And
not anymore, not this generation. We get it. We know what heel and toe is, right?
That's right.
Real racer.
Yeah.
And do you want to take us through some of the gadgets and the buttons and such that
this is
this
is the exact layout of the original, and as you can see, everything you need for a competition roadster sits in front of the driver. This is why you'll see that you have the tachometer in front of you, and the speedometer is over on the far right next to the chicken bar. So, as you know, the normal driver will never usually use his speedometer. I know that if I'm in fifth gear and I'm running 2,500 RPM, I'm doing 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, and my red line is somewhere around the 5,000 or 6,000 RPM. So there's lots of room to do more.
Yeah. And also what you've changed, and you mentioned it, from the original is the trunk.
Yeah, the original had a little opening about this wide that you can get in and change the Hallebrand gears on your thing for racing. What we've done is that we've gone the full enchilada here. We've got a very large trunk that goes all the way to the end, and you can put 2 sets of golf clubs in this trunk.
You can actually quite easily.
Oh, yeah.
Impressive. That's actually really, really good.
Yeah, and also what we're working on now is some nice leathers. We have a nice leather toolkit, which will have the serial number of the car on the toolkit. And you'll also have nice custom-made baggages and suitcases that you can put in the sides here. These will all have your serial number of the car on it. And here we'll have probably a nice leather section here that you can open up and put some things that you want to keep flat and not too wrinkled.
Yeah, almost some extra storage pocket there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Color combinations. How many different color combinations do you have for the exterior?
Well, so far we've started off with some traditional colors. Our 001 was a British racing green. Then we went to what I call our testosterone charged red.
Love it.
That was with a 5.7 Hemi. We also have a 392 Hemi. Okay. And again, it's in testosterone charged red. We've got, this is a Maserati color. It's a Ponte Vecchio Bordeaux. And we did a satin finish on this. We have a couple of them out that have done the gloss finish, and they are absolutely stunning. Yeah. But we tried something new. This is something new that we've introduced as a satin finish. And it's something that we see coming into some of the high-end cars now. And it's a 50-50 thing.
Yeah.
But so far, the reception has been great.
So, Roger, you mentioned the U.S. Now, although you're based here in Canada, you actually have a complete dealer network. So if somebody needs to get something fixed, you can help them throughout North America.
Well, there are 2 things to that. One is that everything that goes into this car is a performance quality. So it's got the reliability that you need. Secondly, we've got the team to put it together properly. And then what we do is that we offer a 50,000 mile warranty, bumper to bumper, no questions asked. We also have selected very competent individuals in the U.S. in particular to service any cars that require any servicing.
So you guys do test drives, and I respect the fact that you stick with tradition and you offer them even at racetracks.
Yeah. Well, with respect to test drives, let it be known that we don't deliver 0-mile cars. We put 200 to 300 miles on our cars, sideways and everything else, to make sure everything is just right. So we can also, as an option, we can also offer courses for performance driving with your car.
Come on, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
So Roger, what's the price?
Well, we start at $225 US, and from there you could do a lot of add-ons that we can have in the car that will take you to $240, $250, $260, depending on what it is and what the specific requirements are. And because of the way our team is made up, if required, and I don't have a price for it yet, but we can do a full track version with a cage, fire extinguishers, and the whole enchilada.
So cool, so amazing. But let me tell you about my impressions. This is absolutely cool. I like how you've kept with a lot of authenticity. I love this sound. I can't wait. You have to promise me we have to do a test track with this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That power, it's right there, right? Yeah. And I want to feel crazy. Yeah. And you're like, drop your gear, boom, right? Yeah, and it's, you're going to go. So the feeling of it, the smell. I wish you guys can smell this monster. This is just amazing. But listen, Roger, if people want some more information about the Allard J2X, how do we find you?
Well, info at AllardJ2X.com. The site is AllardJ2X.com. We have one dealer in Florida, in West Palm Beach, and the rest I handle worldwide because I've shipped to 4 continents. And so we've got cars in New Zealand, in China, in Switzerland, Spain, and the UK.
Impressive. Thank you so much. This is amazing.
All right.
So. Well, baby.